I'm Georgia Paris and I'm the writer and director of A Moment to Move.
And I'm Daisy Mount, the producer.
And we're here today to tell you about our film, why we're making it and how you can get involved. A Moment to Move is a film about Martha, a woman in her early 60s who is at her daughter's wedding and is feeling increasingly vulnerable and invisible to the world. Throughout the day, she's playing Mother of the Bride absolutely perfectly. She's created this beautiful event, but things start to happen, little moments build and build and build, these interactions with other people that make her really aware of the fact that she's sort of lost touch of who she is and that she's essentially playing a role now, a stereotype. And this obviously is quite a big realisation to have, and just creates this panic in her to the point when she ends up fleeing her own daughter's wedding. She leaves and she is walking the streets. She doesn't really know what she's doing or why she's left until she hears this piece of music coming from this late night bar that literally entices her in, and it just slowly allows her to let go and feel something for the first time in a very, very long time. Something changes in her. She's flicked a switch. She is back to who she once was, and that moment is essentially the beginning of the next 20-30 years of her life. I really want to make this film because I feel passionate about Martha's story. She is a woman in her early 60s, and being that age now is very different to being a woman in your 60s 20 or 30 odd years ago. So what we're doing with this film is exploring the choices that she's faced with, not to fade away and not to fit the stereotype, but essentially to not lose sight of who she is. My first short film was a documentary about a jazz band in Paris, and then I started collaborating with my sister, who is a fashion designer, using dance to showcase her work. And although I love that genre of fashion film, my real passion lies in narrative, so I've written and will be directing A Moment to Move.
So we're shooting this film over 4 days and across 5 different locations, one of which is a wedding scene and another is a crowded bar scene, and in each of those we've got 60+ extras. So part of your contribution will be going towards catering and looking after those guys, in addition to the core cast and the crew. We also need a rehearsal space because we've got a major dance scene at the wedding, and we also need to cover up cameras, lighting, set design and everything else that goes into making a production of this scale. It would be really amazing if you could get involved and help us make this production, and by way of a thank you we've got some really fantastic perks that you can find out more about on our page. Because the bottom line is, if we don't reach our goal, then we don't get any of the funding. So share the link, like our Facebook page, use the hashtag A Moment to Move, and please just spread the word.